Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai Lal Gopal. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Damodara ji ki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Yugadharma ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. So we thank devotees for coming today. Depending on your calendar, today is the eve of Diwali. But for Bhagavatam and for our sakes as devotees, it really doesn't matter. Because every day that we remember the Lord is actually a day that is considered to be Utsav. In Bhagavatam, it is said that every time we chant Krishna's names, then the mind becomes so peaceful that the mind becomes, it becomes chanting of the holy names is like a festival for the mind. It's known in Bhagavatam as Manasaha Utsava. So we say it as Mana Utsava. Therefore, we are very fortunate to be able to come together and just try to remember Krishna. Because so many people are out there, but very few people are given the chance to actually remember Krishna. So we should remember and be very happy that Krishna has given us that opportunity. Jaiti te dikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashvat atrahi daita drishyatam dikshutavakas tvai dhritashavas tvam vichinvate. Jaiti te dikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashvaratrahi daita drishyatam dikshutavakas tvai dhritashavas tvam vichinvate. The gopis sing to Krishna in Gopi Geet, and they say that Krishna, your birth in this land, your appearance in this land of Vraja is exceedingly glorious. It is so glorious that everything in this world has become auspicious. Because Krishna has touched the land of Vrindavan, the land of Vrindavan has become holy. So anywhere where Krishna walked, that place has become a pilgrimage place. If you go to Gujarat, especially in the Saurashtra area, you'll find that there are so many pastimes of Krishna. And in all these pastimes of Krishna, the one common denominator is his footprints. That wherever Krishna went, wonderful pastimes were enacted. And that's why another name for Krishna in Bhagavatam is known as Chalat Charanarvindam. Chalat Charanarvindam. One whose footprints have marked the land and made it blessed. That is the meaning of Chalat Charanarvindam. So the gopis sing this prayer also, because they say that until your feet touched the land of Vrindavan, until then that land was just ordinary. But until you came into the world, Krishna, and you touched the soil and the sand of Vrindavan, then that land has become exceedingly glorious. And then they say that Indira is the goddess of fortune. And very often in the material world, we are all praying to Lakshmi because we want something from her. But the gopis say something deeper. They say that wherever Krishna you are, Indira, the goddess of fortune, she follows you. And therefore, foolish people don't realize that if you worship Krishna, automatically all fortune is bestowed on you. Because Lakshmi Devi or Indira, she's inseparable from Krishna. So why you want to take her separately from Krishna? You cannot enjoy her separately from Krishna. Ravana tried to enjoy Sita separately from Lord Ram, and the result of that was destruction. Therefore, anyone who tries to enjoy Lakshmi Devi separately, Bhagavatam tells us the characteristic of Lakshmi Devi is that she's chanchal. Chanchal means she has this ability to keep moving because she's restless. Lakshmi Devi may be in your house for 2 days, after that she may leave. If she leaves, everything goes. So instead of running after Lakshmi, the learned devotees who are fixed in Shastra, they run after Krishna. Because Krishna is the object of their love. Krishna is the object of love of Lakshmi Devi herself. So this is the point the gopis are making. And therefore we should understand that our duty in Krishna consciousness is to always be loyal to Krishna. Just we have to be with Krishna. The moment Krishna is in the center, his lotus feet will walk on our hearts and we'll become very peaceful. And therefore that's why this pastime of Damodara is so powerful. Because in this pastime of Damodara, we understand how the great devotees of the Lord put Krishna right in the center. They didn't put Krishna on the side, on the left, nothing. He was always in the center. That's a very important point. Mother Yashoda remembers this pastime, no, Mother Kunti remembers this pastime very nicely also. She says, I think in Bhagavatam, it's the first canto, 8th chapter, 31st verse, 1:8:31. And there she says, Gopya dade tvai krita gasidama tava yate dashashru kalilanjana sambramaksham vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya somam vimohayati vir abhiyad bhibheti. So in this shloka by Kunti Mata, she's saying something very wonderful. She says that Krishna, I am so amazed that actually, even though you appeared as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet you exhibited such a great pastime of being bound by Mother Yashoda. And you were bound not just by a rope, but the rope of love. And amazingly, even though fear personified is fearful of you, yet you became fearful of your mother. And you started crying in such a way that all the kajal that was on your eyes, they also started flowing with your tears. Whenever I see this wonderful sight of you, whom fear personified is fearful of, and yet very humbly and meekly obeying your mother, I become very bewildered. Because how is it that the Supreme Lord can actually take such a position? This is a very important point. You know, Srila Prabhupada describes this pastime in a very nice way. Srila Prabhupada says, he gives a story. He says that many years ago, and this is historical by the way, before Winston Churchill, you would probably know that there was the UK's Prime Minister was Mr. Gladstone. Gladstone was the Prime Minister of the UK. And at that time, before the war, UK was actually the greatest empire of the world. It was still the greatest empire of the world. So one day a diplomat from another country had come to see the Prime Minister. He had taken an appointment and he was seated outside. And he waited and waited and waited. And he thought that the Prime Minister, Mr. Gladstone, was very busy because he was probably seeing to some other diplomats or other dignitaries. So he kept asking the secretary, why is it that, the Prime Minister is so busy? But the more he asked, the secretary kept just saying, no, don't worry, he has some personal matters to deal with. So finally the diplomat got a bit upset. And he thought, let me go inside and see what is happening. So he opened the door, and to his surprise, he saw Prime Minister Gladstone, the Prime Minister of the greatest empire of the world. He was on all fours, crawling on the floor. And his grandson was on top of him. And the grandson was saying, faster grandpa, faster grandpa. And Gladstone was walking around like a horse. And the diplomat thought, this is the Prime Minister and this is what he's doing. Prabhupada used this example to say that Krishna is the Prime Minister of all the three worlds. He's the Prime Minister of the spiritual world, the material world, everything. Everything is coming from Krishna. Yet the same Krishna can actually be prepared to become completely surrendered and bound by the love of his confidential devotees, so that he behaves just like a child, or he behaves just like a perfect son, or he behaves just like a perfect friend. And in that way, the Lord exchanges his rasa with devotees. So this is the point we must understand. Never think that God is impersonal. Very often we have this idea in Hinduism that God is impersonal. That's the highest form of God. It's not true. Because Shastras tell us that the impersonal feature of God is actually the lowest feature of him. Just like when you want to understand the sun, Prabhupada said you have to understand the sun through different ways. You may not have the capacity and purity to see the sun, but you can see the sunlight. And the light is actually not it is a representation of the sun, but it's not tangible, right? Light, you can actually pass through light, and light can pass through you. So the point is, the impersonal feature of Krishna may be there, but it doesn't give you the chance to exchange your rasa with him. Imagine talking to someone on the phone. It's quite impersonal. You don't see them. You don't know how they look. Nowadays, of course, you got video calls. You can see them. But you can't touch them, right? You can't do anything with them. So therefore, the extent of being personal with God matters. It matters in your devotional service. And the more you are personal with God, the more you spend time with Krishna, the more you worship him, The more you sacrifice for him, the more he sacrifices for you. This is a very important point. So that is the point that Kunti Mata is saying while remembering Yashoda Mata. Such a great point actually. And see the mood between Kunti Mata and Yashoda. Yashoda is exalted devotee, Kunti Mata is equally exalted. And yet Kunti Mata in her humility is saying that Yashoda is so great that I'm bewildered by her exchange. So devotees are never envious of each other. Devotees always see the other devotee as greater than them. They always feel that actually this devotee is very humble, but the devotee's mood and the devotee's realization is very great. Sometimes because we are in the material world, even though we become devotees, we have this tinge of pride. And we think I'm senior devotee, I've been around longer, or I'm doing more service. And invariably in our heart, we look down on other devotees. Or we think other devotees are not as good as me. I should tell them what to do. I know better than you. You should do it this way, do it that way. And that is where we lose our devotional service. But you see the exchange amongst the great devotees of the Lord. They don't. They take pleasure in hearing about Krishna from each other. Shravanti gayanti, krananti abhikshnashaha, nandanti, nandanti. Nandanti means to take pleasure. Devotees take pleasure in hearing about Krishna. They take pleasure in hearing from others about Krishna. So even if I don't know how to chant Shravanti, I don't know how to recite Gayanti, Grananti, I don't know how to accept, at least Nandanti, I should hear from other devotees and I should relish it. And that is what Mother Yashoda is so glorifying. Because when Mother Yashoda woke up in the morning to churn butter for Krishna, while she was churning butter, Bhagavatam says she was remembering all the childhood pastimes of Krishna. So her mind was not running here and there. For us, that's very difficult. We may all be seated here, you're all looking at me, but I don't know where your minds are. Right? Right now, you're looking at me, you're giving me a lot of your attention, but really I don't know where the mind is. Your mind could be at home. Your mind could be thinking, oh, prasadam time already. What is he doing? How long is this going to last? We don't know. You see? So the mind is the key to spiritual life. If you control the mind and use it for Krishna, you are peaceful. If you don't control the mind and don't use it for Krishna, the mind controls you. That's what happens. So therefore, Mother Yashoda utilized her mind to remember the childhood pastimes of Krishna. And she also started composing songs for Krishna. So spontaneously, she was not a music genius or anything, but she just composed songs for Krishna. We may not have the capacity to compose songs for Krishna, but don't worry, Bhagavatam has all the songs. You just chant the songs here, and that's enough. That's why we must study Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm very happy to be in Mahesh Prabhu's house because Mahesh Prabhu has shown us how serious he is about Bhagavatam. And he and Mataji have become so serious, the whole family is serious. So Bhagavatam is so important. The more we take shelter of Bhagavatam, it's so important. My Guru Maharaj used to, when my Guru Maharaj used to sit down and take classes like this, the classes won't end so fast because he will take one shloka and then he'll get everyone to recite it. After reciting it, close the book. Now everyone must memorize it. If everyone cannot memorize it, he won't stop the class. You know how much tension there was in us? All the blood pressure was going up because everybody has to know. And the person who couldn't get it right, everybody will curse him after the class. Because prasadam is delayed, everything is delayed. But Maharaj was relentless. Everyone must learn the shloka before we leave. And I tell you, because of that training today, right, by His mercy, we have no choice. We have to learn. But by learning, we relish the shlokas. We don't learn shlokas because we want to show off what we know. That is dangerous. We don't learn shlokas because we want to be purohits or pandits. People think, you're very good with shlokas. No. We want to learn them like Mother Yashoda. While churning, she was singing these mantras because it would please Krishna. And Krishna came out and he reciprocated with her that morning of Diwali. He told her, he didn't tell her, he put his hand to the churning rod. And by doing so, he was indicating to Mother Yashoda, enough of churning. Now I want milk because I'm hungry. And Mother Yashoda put him on her lap and she started feeding him. And Bhagavatam says she became so happy and Krishna was very happy. But Mother Yashoda had a service. Her service was always to please Krishna. And at that moment, she had put some milk on the stove. And the stove was boiling the milk and it was threatening to boil over. So Mother Yashoda thought to herself, I must save the milk because it is meant for Krishna. See, devotees live their life in such a way that whatever considerations they take or decisions they take, they are always mindful to remember, how does this impact my remembrance of Krishna? If they take a job, they will think, will the job impact my service to Krishna? If they are studying, they will think, I must study very diligently, but I must have time for Krishna. So therefore, every devotee thinks that way. So Mother Yashoda thought the milk is meant for Krishna, but Krishna is still feeding. So I'll put him down for a while and quickly go and quickly come back. But the moment Mother Yashoda left to pick up the milk, Krishna exhibited a transcendental pastime. He became very upset as a child because that was his exchange with Mother Yashoda. You know, when children are of a certain age, it's very hard for them to sit still. Isn't it true? This one is a yogi. We have a yogi. She's just sitting there, I've noticed. She's just hearing. She's very peaceful, very well behaved. Very well behaved. We have another yogi behind, but that yogi is talking a little bit here and there. He's a talking yogi, but he's yogi. It's okay. What I'm trying to say is children's nature is that they will be very often restless. But you're very good, huh? You're very good. Keep it up. Let's see how long you can last. You'll get good prasadam after this, don't worry. And so Mother Yashoda came back. And when she came back, she saw that Krishna had broken a pot of butter that she was churning. And it had spilled on the floor. And she could see Krishna's footprints because he had stepped on the butter. And she knew that he was walking into the storage. Now what happened? Krishna, when he was put down, Bhagavatam says, he said, my mother should not put me down because I'm hungry. So I'm going to punish my mother. Sometimes children think that way, you know. When they get angry with you, they feel, I'm going to punish you. Then they don't talk to you, they sulk, you know, they look away. Right? Yeah, there, she knows. So then what happens? Then Krishna thought, I'm very angry. So I'm going to punish my mother. He took the stone and he broke the pot. And by breaking the pot, all the butter that she was lovingly doing all came out. So Krishna realized after he had done that he had committed a crime, a mistake. And now he knew Mother Yashoda would be angry. We were also children once. I'm sure you remember you doing things that you shouldn't do. After that, you're in trouble, but it's too late. Right? Then you will run or you'll do something. So Krishna thought, now I'm in trouble. Better I run away. But before running, don't forget, Krishna was Makan Chor. He loved to steal butter. Somehow or another that worried Mother Yashoda because he was never taking butter from his own house. Imagine you have a child, you're cooking nice prasadam every day, but she goes to your neighbor's house and eat. After a while, you'll be thinking, what's wrong with my food? But that's what Krishna did. Krishna would go to every neighbor's house. Why? Because every gopi in every house secretly desired that Krishna should eat from my house. That was their mood. Even though they had their children, Krishna was the object of their genuine affection. So every day they would pray. Somehow or another, I'm praying Krishna should come. Somehow he should eat. And Krishna knew who exactly they were. And so he will go to house number 1, house number 10, but he wouldn't go there and ask them for food. He will steal it. And after stealing, he would be full of butter. And he would come in front of his mother because they would drag him here. And they would say, Krishna just stole from my house. And Mother Yashoda would ask him, did you steal? And Krishna had butter all over the mouth, all over the hands. And he would say, Mother, I promise you I never stole butter. Mother Yashoda didn't know what to do. Should I beat him now? Should I smile? Should I laugh? And the other gopis would become confused. How can Krishna do this? He's stealing. He has butter on himself. And they would go home. And the next day they would pray again. Krishna, please come again. So Krishna never did anything randomly. Whatever God does for us, Prabhupada tells us, is always for a reason. Always for a reason. Always try to see the hand of Krishna in everything. Those who see the hand of Krishna in reversals, in challenges, they become glorified in their devotional service. All the great devotees of the Lord, they were put in so much of difficulty. Pandavas, they were put in so much difficulty. Aho custom, aho anyayam. Bhishmadev says, oh Pandavas, how much custom, how much difficulty, how much anyayam, how much injustice was actually done to you. But despite all that, you were protected. You were protected by Achyuta, who is Krishna. You were protected by your dharma, and you were protected by your bhakti. So devotees are always protected even in difficult and awkward situations. So Mother Yashoda decided today on Diwali day, My boy may be very wonderful, very adorable, but I have to discipline him. Why? Because he's becoming a thief. At this rate, he will become a thief. He'll become a grown-up thief. I cannot allow that. And so Mother Yashoda took a stick and she walked into the storage room. And there she saw an amazing sight at the entrance. She saw Krishna standing on a mota. That mota is there behind Krishna. The mota is meant for grinding spices. Krishna was standing on top of it. And he was tiptoeing. And with a stick, he was breaking butter pots. Butter, yogurt, all these milk preparations were there. And they were flowing out. And Krishna was freely distributing them to all the monkeys of Vrindavan. Now, Krishna definitely exhibited, thieving symptoms, isn't it? Because he would steal. But what Bhagavatam also tells us is, Krishna may appear like a thief, but actually, the only thing he would steal in Vrindavan were the residents' hearts. He didn't steal anything else. Why? Because everything else that he purportedly stole was already his property. Isn't it true? There's nothing in this world that doesn't belong to Krishna. There's nothing in this world that doesn't belong to Krishna. So there's no question of Krishna stealing. It's only a question of whether we allow Krishna to steal our hearts. That is the real stealing. So Mother Yashoda watched this excellent, affectionate exchange between the monkeys and Krishna. But she could not realize that these monkeys in their previous life were the great Vanaras. And they served Lord Ram in Ramayana. And when Lord Ram became pleased and told them, ask me for anything you want, they said, we only want to come back to serve you when you come back. And so when Lord Ram came back as Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, these Vanaras came back to serve him. Except that they got an upgrade. Because in Ram Leela, they were all serving Krishna, but they were serving Lord Ram, but they were serving him in the mood of awe and reverence. Awe and reverence means the monkeys were not playing with Lord Ram. Lord Ram was king. They were serving him. But in Krishna Leela, Krishna's mood with the monkeys was very different. Krishna's mood was, monkeys are my best friends, and that's why I'm playing with them. So Krishna allowed them to become more intimate than they were with him as Ram. And this is the mercy of Krishna. Therefore, bhakti must be performed in two ways. Ahaituki apratihata. It must be unmotivated. There should be no material motive in our hearts when we serve Krishna. If you have a tinge of material motive, then your devotional service is considered mixed. It is not pure. Like steel, right? When you have unalloyed steel, it's pure. But if you put other elements, what happens is it's no more unalloyed. It's mixed. It is mixed. In devotional service, supposing you have milk, if you mix the water with milk dilutes, isn't it? Isn't it so? Right, that in India, whenever they tell you we are giving you fresh milk, half the milk is water, right? Half the milk is water. I remember I was in Dwarka and there was a Goshala next door. And me and my Guru Maharaj, every morning we would go there, 5 a.m. in the morning. And that cowherd, he would see us, he would say, sit down. And he would milk the cow in front of us, put it in a nice bowl, and we would drink it. And I tell you, milk that comes out from a cow immediately, it's amazing. It's warm, it's naturally sweet, and it tastes amazing. And I tell you, you don't have to eat until after lunch. It's so filling. After that, when we went back into our Dwarka iskcon ashram, 1 hour later, the same cowherd will send bottles of milk. And when you drank that, I tell you, you knew the difference. Half of it is water only. So next day we went back and Maharaj asked him, how come I'm getting pure milk from the cow? When I go there, there's mixed with water. Then he said, no, I'm not mixing water. For you, it's completely fine. After you leave, I mix everything with water. So in this world, nothing is pure. But our bhakti should become pure. That is the point. When it is mixed with material intentions, it's like that. It doesn't come out clean. So we must learn to cultivate the mood of unmotivated devotional service. It is not difficult. It is difficult only in our mind. But we should strive. If we strive for a goal, Krishna will help us. If we say it's beyond us, Krishna will never help us. So Mother Yashoda exhibited ahaituki, and therefore her bhakti was apratihata. Apratihata means it was uninterrupted. If your bhakti is unmotivated, except to serve Krishna, you will never miss your chanting. You will never miss your reading. You will never miss your services. Somehow Krishna will keep giving you opportunities to do something for him. He will make sure that your bhakti is not interrupted. But if you make it mixed, it becomes interrupted. You see the point? So Mother Yashoda was very, 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 very kind. And so were the Vanaras. Their mood was very pure. And that's why Krishna exchanged. When the Vanaras, monkeys, had eaten so much, suddenly they turned and they saw Mother Yashoda. And they decided, milk is good, yogurt is good, butter is good, but Mother Yashoda with stick is not good. And they all ran away, leaving only Krishna behind. When Krishna saw all his good friends had left him, he knew somebody must be behind him. When he turned around and saw Mother Yashoda, the object of his love, whom he would normally run to, this time he saw her, but he saw her with the stick. And when he saw her with the stick, he jumped off the motor, and instead of running to her, which she expected to, by the way, in Bhagavatam, he started running away from her. And she thought, this Krishna is going to run, but I'm much faster than him. You know, your children may run, but mothers, you know you can catch them at some point, provided you're a bit fit. Huh? If you're not fit, then good luck to you. Mother Yashoda thought, I'll catch Krishna, it's not very difficult. Almost when she's catching Krishna's dhoti, Krishna is half a foot away. Almost when she's about to catch Krishna, Krishna is 1 foot away. Now this Leela starts in the morning of Diwali. By late morning, Mother Yashoda is still running after Krishna. And she's perspiring. And she's getting tired. And at that point of time, Mother Yashoda does what all great devotees do. She surrendered to Krishna. She said, Krishna, please stop running so I can catch you. And when Krishna heard that loving exchange and loving prayer of his mother, not because that she wanted to capture Krishna because she thought she was greater than Krishna. She didn't want to catch Krishna because she thought that she was envious of Krishna. The demons want to catch Krishna because they are envious. The mystics and yogi want to catch Krishna because they want something material from Krishna. But Mother Yashoda wanted nothing. She wanted only the welfare of Krishna. Don't become a thief when you grow up, so I'm going to catch you now. That's all she was thinking of. And so Krishna surrendered himself to her so that she could catch him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who cannot be caught by anything, was caught by his simple-hearted devotional mother. That's all. Now when Mother Yashoda caught him, her heart became very heavy because she saw that Krishna was crying with fear. He was exhibiting fear. I just quoted that shloka, isn't it? The fact that he was actually feeling fearful. Vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya. Right? He was actually exhibiting fear. And Mother Yashoda felt, this is very bad. He must be fearful because of the stick. Bhagavatam tells us that Krishna's eyes, he had nice kajal, but because of the tears, they were all being washed away. Krishna was shaking in fear, and he had so much jewelry. And he was shaking. Jewelry was shaking. So Mother Yashoda decided, let me put down the stick. And she said, I'm not going to punish him. But then Krishna also did something that was very, very nice. Krishna, Bhagavatam says, admitted to his offense. This is important. Sometimes the problem with children is they will refuse to admit that they actually did it. She shook her head. I was a child too, I know, I remember that. I threw so many things away and my mother would come and say, I don't know. But it happened. But Krishna was very different. Bhagavatam tells us Krishna admitted to his offense. And when he admitted, her heart melted. Which is why a very important theme in this Damodara Leela is the act of repentance. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, repented what he did to Mother Yashoda. And because of that, Mother Yashoda's heart melted. And she decided, I won't beat him, I won't hurt him, I won't use the stick, no corporal punishment for him, but I will tie him because he's very, very restless. So then Mother Yashoda said, Krishna, just stand still there. I'm going to take some ropes and I'm going to tie you. We have 2 children here, right? Have you ever been tied by your mother? No, huh? Not so far. Not yet. Okay. But I don't think she'll tie you. You seem like a yogi, so you don't have to be tied. So Mother Yashoda took ropes and she brought it around a little Krishna. Krishna was very little and the ropes was more than sufficient. But the ropes could not actually tie Krishna. The rope was 2 fingers short. Mother Yashoda went to get more ropes. And again it was 2 fingers short. Mother Yashoda called all the gopis next door and said, do you have some ropes? Gopis were curious, why do you want ropes? Because I'm trying to tie Krishna, but I can't tie him. And the gopis said, can we come? The gopis always were happy if there's anything to do with Krishna because they loved him. And so they came and they all watched. They were all smiling. Mother Yashoda was very tired. Before that, she was running. Before that, she was churning. Krishna really made her run for her money, isn't it, so to speak? Really, really difficult. And she was trying to tie him, but she could not. And finally, Mother Yashoda decided, Krishna, I cannot tie you. Can you please allow yourself to be tied? And when Mother Yashoda spoke again in that mood of pure devotion, Krishna allowed himself to be tied. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Swarat, independent, who is not dependent on anyone, less of all anybody, any living entity, he allowed himself, his independence to be tied up. That's an amazing thing, amazing. And so Mother Yashoda tied Krishna, but she tied him not with ropes. She tied him because of two things, which represent the two fingers that were short. The first finger in which helped her to tie Krishna was her endeavor, her labor. It is considered to be parashyam. Parashyam is very important. It comes from the word ashram. You know, the word ashram means a place to stay, a place where you are seated, sthane, a place where you are situated. So when you put labor and you're situated in that labor for Krishna, it actually becomes an ashram. It is an ashram. It is not difficult in our minds, it is pleasing in our minds. How much trouble the family, Mahesh Prabhu and family would have had to get all of us here. All of you are doing services in temples. How much services you're doing, how much trouble only you know. But it may be so much trouble, but you have made it into your ashram. And therefore that endeavor attracts the second finger. And that is the second finger of mercy. The mercy of the Lord. The demons were trying to catch Krishna, but they can't. You know why? Because their hearts were not ready to receive his mercy. They were working very hard. The demons worked very hard to fight with Krishna. But the mood in which they worked was envy. And therefore they could not attract Krishna. When you have barren land and fertile land, and rain is pouring on both lands, no matter how much rain pours on barren soil, nothing will grow. But little bit of rain pours on fertile soil, plenty will grow. It is not the fault of the rain. It's the fault of the soil. If our hearts are barren because we cannot receive Krishna, because we have lust, anger, greed, envy, then no matter what mercy Krishna gives, it's just going to fall off. But if Krishna's mercy falls on an open heart, like Mother Yashoda, then so much mercy is received. You see the point? So mercy is always there. But whether we receive it or not is up to us. He is never stingy on his mercy. We are stingy on our endeavors. And so Mother Yashoda tied little Krishna, and she became very peaceful. And Krishna felt so happy because he was bound by his mother, not by the rope, but by her love. And now Krishna decided, I'm also bound now, not just by my mother. I'm also bound by my great, great devotee Narada. And now I must fulfill what he has prayed for. And Krishna started crawling. When he started crawling, the motor turned from up, vertical to horizontal, and it rolled with him. And Krishna walked towards the end of the garden of Nanda Maharaj courtyard. There were two big trees at the end. He walked through them, and the motor pushed the trees down, and the trees crashed. And in place of the trees were two beautiful devatas. They were sons of Kuber. Kuber is the deity of wealth. And the sons were Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. Now they were actually devatas. They were born devatas, which means they are devotees of the Lord. But they told Krishna that because they were intoxicated by their high parentage, they were intoxicated by their high education, they were intoxicated by their beauty, and they were very intoxicated by their high birth, right? High parentage, beauty, education, they had all four qualifications. Kunti Mata says in the first canto, 8th chapter, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribir, Edamana Madaha Puman, Abidatum Vai, Nai Varhatum, Abidatum Vai, Tvam Akinchana Gochara. Krishna is described in this verse by Kunti Mata very beautifully. She says that Krishna, Janma, there are many people with high birth. Aishwarya, they have a lot of wealth. They have Shruta, education, and they look very nice, Shribir. In this material world, that's considered very, very plus, plus, plus. But in the spiritual world, you can become very proud of what you have. and it can actually be a disadvantage. You become either madaha puman, you become intoxicated. So Nalakuvera and Manigriva became intoxicated with pride, and they started drinking also. One day they were actually drunk in the waters of the Mandakini river, and there Narada passed by, and they came out and stood in front of Narada with no clothes on. What a way to receive a sadhu. They were drunk and no clothes on. When Narada saw them, he decided he needed to do something for them. So he said, better you become trees. Because your life, the human life, is meant for self-realization. The human life is not meant for sense gratification. Human life is not meant to be intoxication. It is not meant just for the freedom of the enjoyment of the senses. That is for animals to do. Animals eat, we eat. Animals defend, we defend. Animals mate, we mate. And animals, what else do? Animals eat, sleep, mate, and defend. They defend, we also defend. But then what is the difference between us and animals then? We have the faculty of reasoning, the understanding of who we should be, and what is our purpose of life. If we don't use it, Bhagavatam says, we are nothing short of two-footed animals. That's what we are. So the Devatas, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were cursed by Narada. Cursed to become trees because he said, what's the point? Trees don't wear clothes, you don't wear clothes. Trees have very low level of consciousness. In your intoxication, your consciousness is also very low. So you become trees, but I give you two benedictions. I pray that when you become trees, you will not forget. You will have the power of remembrance of your previous life and what you did. And secondly, I pray that Krishna will give you darshan face to face one day. A prayer of a pure devotee never goes in vain. And Narada's prayer was answered by Krishna thousands of years later. Thousands of years later. And you notice one thing about pure devotees, they never pray for themselves. Narada prayed for these boys. He didn't say, Krishna, I want to see you face to face. He said, I want these boys to see you face to face. That is the mood of a devotee. And so because of Narada's prayer, the boys became trees. And the trees found themselves in the court of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna came to Vrindavan. And one day after the Diwali Leela of being bound, Krishna decided, let me now liberate these two boys. Do you know why the boys were given liberation by Krishna? Two reasons. One, because of Narada's prayer. Krishna told the boys, you have nothing to do with me and I have nothing to do with you. You never prayed to me. But because Narada prayed for you, I am bound by Narada. This is the greatness of a devotee. The second reason why Shastras tell us they were allowed to be liberated was because when they were given the power of remembrance of their past life, they repented. Repentance is very important in Bhagavatam. In the unborn child's prayers, the unborn child says that only by repentance can one take darshan of the Lord. It's a very important point. All the great devotees of the Lord who repented their actions, they actually elevated their consciousness to see Krishna. When Parikshit Maharaj put the garland of the dead snake on Shamika Rishi, immediately after he did that, he repented in Bhagavatam. And the moment he repented, he heard the curse. And that repentance allowed him to cross over the curse and become fixed on hearing Bhagavatam. You see the point? So therefore, the Nalakuvera and Manigriva did something very important. They exhibited the principle of endeavor by repenting. And therefore, they received the mercy of Krishna. The 2 inches, it also applies to Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Not just to Mother Yashoda, but to these 2 boys also. And there's one thing they say that's really beautiful. In the 10th canto, 10th chapter, and in the 38th shloka, and I want to end with this shloka, the Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they chant a very beautiful prayer. And that's why we understand that they were liberated. Vani gunanu katane shravanau kathayam hastau cha karma sumanastava padayo naha smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname drishti satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. The meaning is very beautiful. They say, my Lord, henceforward, may all our words describe your pastimes. May our ears engage in oral reception of your glories. May our hands, legs, and other senses engage in actions in pleasing you. And may our minds always think of your lotus feet. And may our heads offer our obeisances to everything within this material world, because all things are different forms of you. This is the greatness of their realization. And that is why Nalakuvera and Manigriva were liberated. So this is a very beautiful pastime. And it tells us many, many things that we heard today. But the primary feature of this pastime is finally that Krishna can be bound by love and devotion. He was bound by the Vanaras, by their service to him as Lord Ram. He was bound by Mother Yashoda because of her service to him. And he was bound by Narada because of his prayer for Nalakuvera and Manigriva. And that is what the rope of love is about. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Are there questions, comments, thoughts, realizations? Shall we chant Damodara Ashtakam? Yes, Ajay Prabhu.
Just one question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Yashoda Mata also found herself where she had to do multiple things. All was for Krishna.
Yes.
It was churning milk or the milk on the stove or everything, whatever she was doing for Krishna.
Yes.
And that's where sometimes we find ourselves. There are multiple services and none is like, we cannot say that okay, this is priority, this is not a priority, because everything is something that we have to serve.
Yes.
So in these situations, how to get guided, how to be in that.
How to be guided to know which service has priority over the other. Actually, in Bhagavatam, that point is actually addressed. I'll give you the verse. Bhagavatam is amazing. When you have time, Prabhu, look at 10, 9, 5. I will read to you what Prabhupada says. Mother Yashoda was not unjust when she left her son to take care of the overflowing milk. On the platform of love and affection, it is the duty of the devotee to do one thing first and the other later. The proper intuition by which to do is given by Krishna. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So Prabhupada says in Krishna consciousness, everything is dynamic. So in case we don't know which one to prioritize, pray to Krishna. And in case after praying to Krishna, he is not answering you for whatever reason, or maybe it's taking some time, talk to the senior devotees. Because the senior devotees will have the capacity to tell you what you should do and when you should do it. Is that all right, Prabhu? Okay. So shall we chant Krishna's names? Prabhu, you're ready, yeah? Okay. Okay, please. Now when you come forward, there's going to be Achaman. There's Achaman, Prabhu? Okay. Who's going to give Achaman? Achaman coming? Okay. So take a little bit of water, right? Don't drink it. It is meant to purify. And after that, pick up a lamp and offer it to the Lord. When you offer it, remember this pastime. And please pray to Krishna to please give you this transcendental knowledge that you should always serve Him. And in doing so, you will become really peaceful and very blissful. Let's start. Namami Shwaharam Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. And you all can come forward. One or two persons can come forward already. Namami Shwaharam Sachidanandarupam लसत् kundalam gokule vrajamanam. Hari Bol. Yashoda biyolu kaladhavamanam param krishna madhyam tato dhrutya gopya. Jai Damodara. Rudantam muhurneta yukmam brijantam karamboja yukme nasatam kanetram. Muhu swasakampa trirekha kakhanta Srita graivam damo daram bhakti bhadam. Hari Hari. Iti dritsvalila virananda kunde Swagosham nimajantam makyapayantam. Tadishikanyeshu bhaktejitadvam Puna prematastam satavriti vande. Mokshavadimma nachanyam vrineham varisharapiha. Idam teva purnata gopalavalam sada me manasya virastam kimanye. Jai Balagopal. Idam te mukhambojam atyanta nilai Vritam kuntalai snigdha raktaischa gopya. Muhuschumbitam bimbharatadaram me manasya virastam alam lakshalabhe. Namo Deva Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdi Magnam. Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Vatanu Grahane Shamamagnyam Edakshi Drishaya. Hari Hari. Kuveratmajau Baddha Mutyaiva Yadha Vayamochitau Bhakti Bhaja Kripaucha. Hari Bol. Tatha prema bhaktim swakham me prayacha Namokshe graho me sti damodareha. Prema bhakti ki वस्तु धाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् श्रीमती राधा रानी की नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् हरि हरि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि बोल कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि बोल Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Bol Damodara ji ki Hari Hari Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara. Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Shri Radhe. Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Shri Yashoda Damodar Ji ki, Jai Shri Vrindavan Bhumi Dham ki, Ananta Kodi Vaishravrinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. We have Bhagavad Gitas and copies of Krishna book here.